In the span of 7 decades, the Western world has traversed a perilous path into the abyss of sexual immorality. Sacred values have been profaned, and the relentless pursuit of carnal desires has eclipsed human dignity. Amidst this tumultuous era, where countless souls have made the celebration of sexual perversion their very sustenance, darkness has descended upon the minds of many. In an age permeated by hedonism, where instant gratification has become the sacred altar at which we prostrate ourselves, the morally upright man often finds himself an outsider. He is subjected to scrutiny, his very masculinity challenged. Yet concealed within the annals of ancient warrior societies, which embodied masculinity in its most splendid form, there exists a profound principle, veiled by the malevolent hands of contemporary society, a principle that proclaims the moral imperative of sexual self-restraint. It is this concealed wisdom that begins to be unveiled today. Still skeptical, consider then the timeless tale of Odysseus, a paragon of valor who refused the seductive enchantments of an immortal goddess, Calypso. He willingly turned his back on an eternity awash in pleasure, or a higher calling to wife and country. Yet his resolve did not stem from mere devotion alone. It was in fact fortified by the knowledge that surrendering to unbridled passion saps the strength from the sinews of men, rendering them feeble, frail, and denuded of that very life force which is the essence of heroism. Odysseus, in short, emerges as the earliest beacon of sexual continence, the first guardian of seed conservation, in simple colloquial terms, as the valiant pioneer of NoFap heroism. It is a story as old as time, but one that still must be told. Part 1. The Ideal Andra. Sing, O Muse, about the man of many turns, who many ways wondered when he had sacked Troy's holy citadel. Thus begins Homer's grand invocation to the Muses, emphasizing Odysseus as the epitome of manhood, the ultimate archetype of male prowess and nobility. Indeed, the epic's very first word, andra, meaning man in ancient Greek, sets the stage for an exploration of virility generally, and Odysseus specifically, as the gold standard of masculinity. For the ancient warrior society that gave birth to the Homeric epics, of which only the Iliad and the Odyssey remain, virtuous manhood is characterized by a blend of warrior valor, intellectual cunning, and moral fiber. While physical strength and bellicose prowess was crucial, the Homeric ideal man also possesses intelligence and wit. His ability to outsmart foes, both mortal and divine, through cunning rather than sheer force, marks him a hero. Leadership for Homer society was equally prized, with heroes being revered not just for their combat skills, but for their ability to inspire and strategize. Loyalty, especially to family and comrades, is a central tenet of the ideal. Tied into this rich mosaic of characteristics is a profound respect for the gods, making piety a vital component of their identity. Thus, the Homeric hero is a composite of strength, wit, honor, and emotional depth, navigating a world filled with both mortal challenges and divine intrigues. As the revered king of Ithaca, Odysseus embodied the Homeric ideal of manhood. His love for Queen Penelope and dedication to their son, Prince Telemachus, showcased his embodiment of masculine virtues, honor, loyalty, and profound familial love. In the first epic of Homer's master epics, the Iliad, which describes the Trojan War and the Greek army's fiery decimation of Troy, Odysseus emerges as a paramount figure for the victorious Greeks, defining manhood through his cunning intellect, masterful rhetoric, and ingenious tactics, most notably the legendary Trojan horse. When the war is over and the victorious Greeks determine who among them is worthy of receiving the fallen warrior Achilles' prized armor, it was Odysseus who was chosen over the mightier warrior, Ajax. This choice underscored that, to his comrades, Odysseus' combination of wisdom, strategy, and eloquence made him the quintessential man, embodying virtues valued beyond mere martial prowess. Yet, as the ashes of victory cooled, Odysseus and his men embarked on their voyage back home to Ithaca. The treacherous seas and the malevolent gods plotted against them, unleashing a fury and challenging the depths of Odysseus' manly virtues. At his darkest hour, with his men lost and ship destroyed by wrathful Poseidon, fate cast them upon the shores of Ogygia. There, a goddess shrouded in radiant beauty took a liking for the quintessential man. Part 2. Resisting the Seductions of Chaos. Calypso, the daughter of Titan Atlas, reigned in the paradisiacal embrace of Ogygia, an island that seemed to define time itself. Her beauty, ethereal and otherworldly, transcended moral comprehension. She was immortal and beguiling, a seductress whose enchantments could ensnare even the most steadfast of hearts. Among both mortals and gods, her beauty stood unchallenged, a celestial marvel that could eclipse the very radiance of Aphrodite, goddess of beauty and love. The captivating Calypso was deeply smitten with Odysseus, but her infatuation, benign at first blush, delves into profound and shadowy realities, insights of old that contemporary men cannot afford to miss. In the intricate tapestry of Odysseus' Odyssey, Calypso emerges not simply as a seductress, but as the embodiment of the chaotic feminine, a primordial force that men of valor, like Odysseus, must wrestle and resist. This archetype, prevalent in ancient myths, signifies both the seductive allure of the uncharted and the profound transformative changes inherent in it. Ogygia, Calypso's ethereal abode, is an obvious manifestation of chaotic feminine's domain, a place untethered from the constraints of linear time in human civilization. The inviting warmth of her hearth, the rich aroma of cedar, and the verdant embrace of cypress trees all beckon a soul into the womb of primordial mysteries. Birds of all kinds, symbols of souls in many mythologies, find solace under the sky, while at the mouth of a cavernous sanctuary, vines heavy with intoxicating grapes hint at forbidden pleasures. Springs, crystal clear in their purity, reflect the timeless allure of this island, further drawing into Calypso's embrace. Within her sanctum, Calypso is the personification of chaotic allure. Her hair, redolent with spicy sweetness of cinnamon, cascades like the river of night, and her almond eyes are the pools of cosmic mystery. Her voice, hauntingly beautiful, carries the age-old call of the sirens, a lure to the depths of the unknown. Her every gesture, every note she weaves in her magic is designed to enthrall and ensnare. In ancient Greek cosmogony, particularly as presented in Hesiod's Theogony, Chaos is described as the first thing to exist, a vast and dark void from which the first deities emerged. This concept of chaos refers to the void state preceding the creation of the universe or cosmos, just as the ancient myth of Theogony tells of a primordial chaos that predated order. Calypso's realm stands in stark contrast to the structured, heroic journey of Odysseus towards Ithaca. Her island seeks to drown him in a sea of temptation, obliterating his purpose and pulling him into a void of eternal nothingness. The pinnacle of Calypso's temptation is not merely the promise of endless passion, but the offer of immortality itself, a fascination that has beckoned us mortal since time immemorial. In her whispered seductions, Calypso presents Odysseus a vision of an existence unburdened by mortality's constraints, a life of eternal copulation with her, the most beautiful of goddesses. But for a hero like Odysseus, to yield to such temptations is to forsake his very essence and be consumed by the chaotic abyss. Part 3. Fapping and Amerinos. What man could resist partaking in such decadence, especially one bruised and battered by the perils of war and sea? To be offered eternal squalor for the mere price of sexual submission to a goddess of unmatched beauty. But not kingly Odysseus. Yet standing by his oath to wife and country would come at a cost for the man of twists and turns. Infuriated by his rejection, Calypso incarcerated him, holding him her male concubine for an interminable 7 years. Brace yourself, for the tale takes an astonishing twist. In Homeric literature, the Greek word minos encapsulates the vital essence of a hero, representing not only physical strength and prowess in battle, but also the inner courage, determination, and emotional intensity that drives heroic action. The term, in short, captures the core of masculine essence, but the vigor of Minos could be lost in a moment of passion. For perspective, let us turn to another mortal goddess union in another Homeric work, Homeric Hymn 5 to Aphrodite. Here, we delve into the fears of Trojan hero Anchises, who dreaded being left Amerinos, a term that conveys enfeeblement or death due to excessive sexual indulgence. Similarly, in the Odyssey, those rendered Amerinos are depicted as dead, and men risk losing the very Minos, courage, spirit, vigor, the essence of their heroism, in a single sexual encounter with the goddess. So the story here, my friends, marks a profound departure from the Odysseus we've known, the wily tactician, renowned for his cunning, whose intellect shone brilliantly in with victories against foes much larger and fearsome. Envision this Odysseus, the one who subdued the giant Cyclops with wine and cunningly blinded him by driving a stake into his solitary eye. This Odysseus, devoid of the spirit to craft an escape from Calypso's clutches, spending his days lamenting on the shores of Ogygia, an unmistakable sign, a grievous aberration. By modern standards, it is unmistakable that Calypso is compelling Odysseus into intimate unions. Yet, even within the context of antiquity, where the concept of consent was not always well-defined, sexual dynamics carried a pronounced power differential, positioning Odysseus unmistakably in a subservient role, and marking out the relationship as a disruption of the natural order of things. His involuntary sexual servitude to Calypso left him depleted, emasculated, stripped from the vital force held within his seed. You, dear viewer, may feel like Odysseus, entangled in the seductive snares of past relationships, lured into the murky waters of hookup culture, or ensnared by the entrampments of explicit content. The loss of one's Minos, or inner essence, masculine essence, can happen in many ways, and the contemporary world, with its many temptations, might seem like an endless sea of islands with gorgeous nymphs calling your name. But as the story of mighty Odysseus will make clear to you, the men who truly heed the call of heroism can reclaim the essence and inner strength. Trust me, my friends, you are on the brink of witnessing an extraordinary revelation. Part 4. Favor of the Theos. In the vast tapestry of ancient Greek beliefs, the benevolence of the gods was intricately woven, with both the immutable threads of faith and the reward of human virtue. The Homeric sagas reveal a divine schema unlike the Judeo-Christian vision of a singular, all-knowing deity. Far from it, Homer's pantheon is rich with gods and goddesses marked by distinct personalities, desires, and rivalries, who actively meddle in the affairs of mortals. The divine interventions are as unpredictable as the changing winds, driven by emotion and whim as much as purpose and design. The paradox of fate and the capricious nature of the gods in Homeric tales resonates deeply with anyone who has witnessed and experienced firsthand the burdens of tragedy, the age-old question of human suffering. Yet Odysseus' journey underscores that even in a world shadowed by whimsical gods and inscrutable faith, one's unwavering dedication to truth and honor can sometimes shift the very stars. Odysseus, navigating a cosmos where fickle gods could change their favor with the setting sun, remained resolute. His dedication to home, honor, and the memory of his beloved Penelope were his offerings, earning the admiration of Athena, goddess of wisdom, craft, and warfare. Amid the stormy seas of his trials, Odysseus became a beacon for the gods, with Athena in particular watching over him. From her divine vantage point, she saw more than his tribulations. She discerned a soul ablaze with unwavering mood. Even on Ogygia, in the seductive grasp of Calypso, Odysseus held steadfast to the memory of Penelope, showcasing a resilience the few mortals possess. But Odysseus' saga is more than just a tale of enduring love. It's a testament to the ancient Greek ideals of piety and morality. His deep reverence for Xenia, the honored tradition of hospitality, and his unwavering respect for oracles and prophecies reinforced his esteemed status. These attributes, woven with his ethical fiber, elevated his tale into an enduring lesson on the rewards of living a life anchored in virtue and respect for the divine. Odysseus' undying loyalty and adherence to Greek virtues weren't lost on Athena. Impressed his commitment, even in the face of ethereal temptations, she recognized the broader implications of his actions, how they shielded Penelope's dignity and secured Telemachus' future. Touched by the enduring bond and Odysseus' reverence for the cosmic order, Athena's heart broke for mighty Odysseus. Angered by the unfair hand that the pious Odysseus had been dealt, she approached the mighty Zeus. She championed the cause of a man who stood as a beacon of virtue amidst tempestuous trials. Zeus, acknowledging Odysseus' valor and Athena's impassioned plea, gave his command. He dispatched Hermes to liberate the hero, showcasing that even in the heavens, virtue and unwavering spirit could sway the course of destiny. Odysseus, with the blessing of the divine, charted his course homeward, seeking to reclaim his lost Minos and reunite with the pillars of his life, his family, and his homeland. Part 5. Becoming the Andra Politos. Having been freed by Zeus' decree, Odysseus embarked once more upon the treacherous seas in a daring bid to defy yet again Lord Poseidon. His vessel, a humble raft fashioned from the remnants of his imprisonment in Ogygia. Yet the mighty god of the deep remained relentless in his anger, summoning tempests and unleashing furious waves to thwart the hero's passage. Undeterred, Odysseus pressed on, his resolve unshakable. With each tumultuous crescent trough, he drew closer to the enchanting shores of the island of Scheria. In this mystical land, where crystal waters gently kissed the golden sands and the ethereal songs of nymphs graced the air he breathed, Odysseus, a hero seemingly lost to the sea, emerged from the mists. He had traversed the far reaches of the world, his spirit tested and refined in the crucible of unrelenting adversity. Yet the hand of destiny, a force as unyielding as the hero himself, beckoned him back to the realm of mortal men. Upon those hallowed shores, where Phaeacian treasures gleamed like the treasures of the gods, Odysseus found not just refuge, but the keys to his redemption. He beheld the tools to reclaim his masculinity, to awaken the dormant fires of his heroic soul. With an eloquence that rivaled the songs of sirens and martial prowess to stir the hearts of champions, he set forth to fulfill the poetic promise of an Andra, a man of valor and honor, a beacon of strength and nobility. In the grand hall of King Alcinous, the king of Scheria, before a multitude of the king's guests, Odysseus wove tales of his epic journey, his words like golden threads stitching the fabric of his destiny. With each syllable, he breathed life into the adventures the whims of the gods forced him into. The Cyclops' cave, the seductive call of the Lotus Eaters, the enchantress Circe, the treacherous sirens, and of course, the 7 harrowing years with Calypso. His stories resonated with the strength of 1,000 warriors, and the Phaeacian nobles listened in rapt awe, their hearts swelling with admiration. But Odysseus did not merely rely on his silver tongue to reclaim lost glory. The hero, whose very name struck fear into the heart of his foes, demonstrated his martial prowess with unmatched finesse. In the arena, he sparred with Phaeacian champions, his movements fluid as the dance of the gods. With a flick of his wrists, he disarmed his opponents, and with a lightning-quick strike, he subdued them, all while displaying the valor of a true warrior. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in fiery hues, Odysseus had not only retrieved the tools to reclaim his masculinity, but had also rekindled the blazing fires of his heroic spirit. In that moment, the people of Scheria beheld a hero reborn, a man who had risen from the depths of adversity to shine once more as a beacon of courage and honor. The echoes of his deeds would resonate through the annals of time, for Odysseus, the indomitable, had returned to the world of men, and his legend would burn brighter than ever before. As we near the closing chapters of Homer's epic masterpiece, the Odyssey, the culmination of Odysseus' arduous journey is a crescendo of triumph, a symphony of perseverance and valor. The hero's sojourn in the tranquil isle of Scheria, nestled within the embrace of divine hospitality, was a prelude to the thunderous climax that awaited him in his beloved Ithaca. Upon his triumphant return to his home, Odysseus bore the weight of destiny upon his shoulders. His arrival was a whisper in the wind, a flicker in the darkness, and his enemies, the suitors, who had for long sought to wed his wife and take his kingdom for themselves, like moths drawn to an irresistible flame, met their fiery demise at the hands of Odysseus. The battle was a tempestuous whirlwind of retribution, a catharsis of justice long deferred. Each arrow from his bow and swing from his blade struck with the precision of fate itself, and as the suitors' limbs fell from their bodies like kindlewood severed from great oaks, the kingdom of Ithaca was reborn from the ashes. But in truth, it was the warm embrace of Penelope that Odysseus found his true victory in. The reunion was a torrent of emotions, a river of tears mingled with laughter, a testament to the enduring power of love and the potency of steadfast dedication. The years of separation and sorrow melted away, and the union was a rekindling of a flame that had burned brightly even in the darkest of times. Odysseus, with honor restored, stood as protector of his wife Penelope, son Telemachus, and his kingdom, a beacon of hope and strength in a tumultuous sea of fate. And thus, in the grand tapestry of Homer's epic, The very first lines promises a profound exploration into the very essence of virility, of embodying the noble Andra, man, finds its glorious fulfillment. Specifically, we witness the realization of the promise of a man who is politropos, usually translated as of many turns or much enduring, with our hero being versatile, adaptable and wily, all prerequisites to heroism and manhood. Through unwavering toil and unyielding determination, Odysseus undertook the arduous task of realigning his very soul, his intellect, and his physical prowess. A soul steadfast and unbroken, that endured the harshest of tribulations and emerged resilient. A mind ceaselessly striving for excellence in every realm of human endeavor, ceaselessly yearning for greatness. And lo, his body, once nearing death from unchecked pleasure, now reclaimed its godlike warring vitality through the exercise of sexual self-restraint. Odysseus, the embodiment of virility, stood as a beacon of self-control and power. It was in this convergence of his multifaceted self that the hero found his true strength, a strength that transcended mere physical might and reached into the very depths of his being. Odysseus, the very heart of Homer's contemplation on the true nature of manhood, representing both the powers of a fighter and the wisdom of a sage, crafty yet enduring, fiercely passionate while exemplifying patience, emerges as a shining beacon, symbolizing the indomitable spirit of manhood and relentless quest for excellence. Behold, dear viewer, the call to action echoes through the corridors of destiny. Arise, cast aside the mundane confines of complacency and step forth from the heart of the ordinary. The time is now, the moment is yours. X out of the hub and ignite the flames of your potential. Embrace the art of combat, master the noble dance of the warrior, and let the sword of valor be your guiding light. Rise, and with sinews of steel, endeavor to lift the weight of greatness itself. Delve deep into the sacred annals of religion, where ancient wisdom and eternal truths await your eager intellect. Traverse the labyrinthine corridors of philosophy, unravel the mysteries of existence, and emerge as a beacon of profound enlightenment. Scale the towering peaks of mountains, where the very heavens kiss the earth. Conquer the rugged terrain with a heart yielding, and let the majesty of nature's grandeur be your muse. Unleash the boundless power of innovation, for in the crucible of creativity are forged the very instruments of progress. Claim victory in the arena of bodybuilding, sculpt your physique into a monument of strength and grace. Raise the pillar of cities with visionary zeal. Breathe life into the stones and streets. Craft families with love as your foundation, nurturing the seeds of legacy and kingship. Cultivate courage that knows no bound, justice that stands unshaken, temperance that tames the passion, and wisdom that pierces the veil of ignorance. For you, noble Andra, for you, noble man, are destined to transcend the ordinary, to rise above the fray, and to become the living embodiment of heroism itself.